Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 12th and final episode of Akanesasu Shoujo. It's crazy to think that we're finally at the end, considering I started this show quite a while ago. You know, big old break between like episode 3 and 4, I think. But yeah, last episode was definitely a good one. We had some really cool just visuals, action, combat, as well as a lot of more emotional things, like the great stuff between you and Asuka, just because they both had a lot of feelings kind of bottled up, not really expressed, and then we just kind of came together and expressed those feelings together, and there was a lot of holding and falling and carrying and blushing, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of that. So that was a thing. And the rest of the girls were kind of doing their own thing, where they were kind of essentially reaffirming their new beliefs, you know, because they went through the development, and then they kind of got challenged by this asshole, and then trying to push them down, and then they just popped back up, you know, with the power of friendship and determination and all that, and vanquished him, then came back over to help the others. So now we're all together, but the problem is we ended off with Asuka being like, hey, you know that deal? I suddenly decided that I want to take it now, which was odd, which I'm pretty sure this is some kind of play, like she's got a plan, like an idea, like it's not what it seemed, it's not like she genuinely decided that that was the best course of action. I think there's some kind of goal she thinks she can achieve with that, whether it's being able to rescue City Asuka or, you know, defeat the Twilight King for good, because just nothing seemed to have happened between her initial rejection of it and then that would lead me to believe she changed her mind. So yeah, if anything, she was in a better place emotionally than before. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what she's thinking here, because it can't just be a straight up sacrifice, but it's not impossible, I suppose. But either way, yeah, this is the last episode, so any kind of loose threads kind of have to be solved here. So I imagine we'll get into some Kyosuke stuff. That's the name of her brother, right? Hopefully I'm not getting that wrong, because we've still been pretty vague on what exactly happened. Like, we could assume some stuff because of what we learned about, you know, the emissary girl. Obviously, the emissary being Asuka, you know, a lot can be assumed from that. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty much everything I have to say. Can't really stall much more, so just get into it and see what we get, how they end this off. So, 3, 2, 1, play. This is right where we left off. So she says, the Walkman, yeah. But yeah, surely she's not actually sacrificing herself, though. I refuse to believe that. No, that's the other Asuka. Wonder if Yu knows her true intentions. If anyone would, she would. You better. You better. Hopefully you know what you're doing. I'm not gonna say goodbye to a second Asuka. No opening. After the twilight falls. She believes in her. Yeah, for sure. Then what would you call it? Definitely. It didn't feel like a final goodbye at all. I want to as well, and I do, mostly. I'm just a bit worried. Just gonna... Doesn't even look like we're making progress. Like we're walking on a treadmill. I didn't think we'd have such a casual walk, stroll. I wonder if mini Asuka's gonna regret her decision. Do we have anything to eat in the Twilight World? Yeah, don't be silly. Of course she gets hungry. I really wasn't ready for just the silliness. She is trying to annoy her, she has to be. It's cute, but... Okay, we did get something to eat in the end. Oh, trying to give you the Chikawa. It is weird to see somebody hanging out with a smaller version of themselves. Come on, you know you want some. You're Asuka after all. Oh, she took one. Nice. I knew she wanted it. She should just be honest. She's treating her like a child so much. So you say, but I definitely saw some before. The same way. So we are getting into the Kyosuke, the brother Kyo. How dare she fail to do so? Forgot to feed her child. That's not cool. The Chikawa? A little bit delicious. You'll learn to love it. She seems much less enthusiastic than she does in the scene with little Asuka. But this is before she, puts on the front and stuff. So it makes sense. And now she looks happy, because she's got some Chikawa in her mouth. Yeah, I didn't think so. Is there a piece of Chikawa grow? Pretty good score. Passable. Yeah, I really just was not expecting the Asuka, little Asuka hangout session. There could be. I don't think we've actually met a Kyo-chan in any of the fragments we went to so far, though. So, I don't know. So I think Asuka's only real plan here is to just kind of bond with little Asuka to try to, convince her to get on our side. Maybe that's her overall plan. Because she saw that little bit of emotion. Maybe she thinks there's a chance because of that. That would make sense. Because she did agree, right after that. So, I think that's what it is. She saw a chance worth taking. I didn't think so. What are we looking for? That's pretty important. It's important, though. Are you sure about that? We still haven't elaborated on how or why he disappeared, have we? Because she doesn't seem to know anything more than regular Asuka, from what I can tell. But man, the visuals in this scene have been weird. Asuka did nothing wrong, it's okay. I'm sure. Oh god. That took a turn. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, this is starting to become unsettling. Jeez, this got dark. Wait, what was that? Yeah, there's been some freaky visuals in this scene. Even if the same tragedy happens to you, it can make a big difference depending on how you handle it. Oh god, the way it cut off, that was really freaky actually. Is it an explosion of twilightness? Yeah, there's probably better ways to handle it than that. Yeah, there's definitely some emotion here. Yeah, that's what got to her. She couldn't hide how much that bothered her before. How dare you be happy when I'm not? And life is based on your own choices more than anything else. It all comes down to you. As if. Just as you said. Quite literally. Oh wow, those are some gorgeous wings. And also the rest of the world, you know, you can avoid punishing them too. I love the wings. It's just like a green screen effect with a sky background. It's really cool looking. I mean, yeah, you could still care about him. Just a more healthy, positive way. It's okay. I don't think Kyuu blames anyone, especially not Asuka. Kyohei, okay. I knew I was wrong. Tomorrow will eventually be today. Yeah, because Twilight is basically the time between light and dark, right? The transitional period. We finally really got through to her. And finally time's no longer stopped for her. Just hug it out. Goodbye, me. It was nice hanging out with you. Looks like we're back home. And I guess just the Twilight's just gone now. So does that mean that Asuka was a Twilight King the whole time? I thought they made it seem like she was only the emissary and like she was like a step below the Twilight King. I guess I just interpreted it wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like we've just solved it. If you say so. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. More time together. Thank you, Jace Rigby. Infinite possibilities. It won't be easy, but... No glasses. It'd be great. Let's, please. We're definitely on the same page. Sort of. Yeah, even seeing you more cheerful is great. All for you. No. You gotta be together. It's all points. Yeah, graduation always comes eventually. You'll invite new members, it'll be fine. Yeah. Ouch. Her, serious Asuka? Serious Asuka? That better be who you're talking about. Wait, I can't quite tell who that is. Mayuki? I think... Yeah, I think I remember her, vaguely. But, you know, it wouldn't be this one that we know. You don't mind that? Join us. It'll be worth your while. We have a lot of fun. Don't run away. What was that about? Did you just scoff at us? I know, right? That seemed kind of rude. What's wrong with our club? Ouch. Well, decide that and join us. Personality. Yeah, I think you should just join us. No. We're totally a serious club. Well, you know, choices and all that. Gonna break out the secret weapon? Okay. I don't think anyone's ready for DJ Asuka. Yeah, that'll get her attention. Apparently. Too much text on screen. It's confusing me. Motivation's real now. What a change of attitude. It's like a complete 180, but that's what she wants to hear. The credits are rolling. We have our new member. Little fist bump. Wow, somebody's nervous. Are we gonna sneak in there? Of course. Of course. Some things never change. Too bad I can't hear what they're saying on it. Must run back. She did her job well. I guess it was a distractor. Just everyone kind of dancing, it looks like. I assume, you know, it's still framed, so. I love all the cute poses, though. Movie quotes. Okay. Okay. I guess she got what she wanted. That's still going. Wow, I keep expecting it to end. How much time do we have left? Oh wow, we actually have more than I thought. Okay. I'm still waiting for that meeting with Asuka before we end it off. For some reason. Crisis. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's Asuka. She's back. Nobody else would possibly steal Misa from us. Is she a full box full? But is she not actually gonna show up though? I mean, it's enough to know she's alive and well. But let's find her if we can. That's quite the running posture there, Asuka. Gotta find her eating a lunch around here somewhere. So we're just not actually gonna find her. And when we do a cool pose and no one's around to see it. Oh, where'd that come from? Okay, I guess she has it. And I think that's really the end this time. Yeah, that's definitely the end. Okay. Okay. Well, that was the 12th and final episode of Akanesasu Shoujo, and I thought it was a great final episode. I would have liked to have seen City Asuka, you know, it would have been nice, you know, but at least we know, or at least heavily implied, that she is alive. Nobody else would possibly steal, you know, miso from our establishment, so it's gotta be her. But yeah, I mean, I think I was right with my assumption about why Asuka went with the little Asuka. She saw there being at least some emotion there, and she even talked about it because she couldn't hide it. Like, she's very much trying to, the way she phrased it is that she doesn't have emotion anymore, like it's been cut off from her, when quite really it's just being suppressed. That's very obvious throughout the episode that that's what it was, and as a result it kept leaking out and eventually just flooded out because Asuka, Asuka works at Asuka Magic. But yeah, she saw that there was potential there, and that maybe she could really get through to her. That's pretty much like what the gamble she was making, that she could, because it's her, essentially. Asuka. All Asukas are the same at their base. It's the only difference is the choices they make along the way, which can shape them into very different people. But there will always be something there you could latch onto, or at least have a chance to, and that's what she counted on. And in the end, it worked out. We had, I mean, early on, it was a lot of silliness, you know. We were just walking around, Asuka being like, hey, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Can we go do this? Can we go do that? Just Asuka being Asuka, which was great, because these two Asukas are very different on the surface level, the way they behave, the kind of mask that they present. So, yeah, as a result, it led to a pretty funny dynamic. We eventually just kind of chilled at the shrine, hanging out, eating chikuwa, because our Asuka's a big fan of it, the other Asuka, not so much. And a big part of it is the meaning behind it for her. And we got some flashbacks of that, just her discovering her love of chikuwa, being so much connected to Kyosei, not Kyosuke as I was calling him before. I knew it was wrong when I said it. I just couldn't remember the alternative. So I just should have just called him Kyo to stay safe, but just mistakes were made, I suppose. But anyway, we had the two of them just kind of hanging out, reminiscing, and eventually got to the real meat of the divergence, the way they handled the situation. And also with that, we kind of actually got some more depth on our Asuka and how she felt about it, really. Because we knew she was kind of, forcing her a mask and stuff, but we didn't really realize how deep that went. Like, she started talking about, crying as a way to make the adults not seem like it was her fault and stuff like that. Yeah, that definitely... Yeah, we got into some dark territory with that, for sure. Like, just the amount of baggage and weight that she had, and guilt she had, I did not quite get the depths of it before until this episode. But then we have, the other Asuka, who dealt with things by trying to just, completely forget about it, eliminate it as part of her, they dealt with it in different ways, but neither one was really ideal. And after talking with her enough, we eventually got through to her. Eventually she realized it's okay to just deal with it in a more normal way. And just the tears were flowing, they were hugging. We got to see shiny, pretty wings and just embracing. It was a lot of good stuff, a lot of good emotional development and release there. And it's good to see, because she was just, the little Asuka was so cold and detached and stuff like that. Just to see her, get out of that was definitely pretty satisfying. I do think I'm probably kind of mixing some stuff up in my head, like various thoughts of the two Asukas, because it's the same person, similar voice, talking to each other in the same scene, going back and forth with their thoughts and opinions and backstories. So I'm sure I got a lot of stuff mixed up in my head, but I do get the overall point. That little Asuka dealt with it kind of worse than our Asuka did, although neither were great, and it seemed like she just straight up birthed the whole Twilight thing, seemingly, so it does seem pretty clear that a lot of my assumptions were wrong, especially my earliest one of, Kyuu being, turning out to be the final boss of some sort, the Twilight King, when in reality it seems like Asuka was the Twilight King, and what happened to Kyuu, which is just forever gonna be a mystery. I thought for sure we would eventually get a reveal on that. I thought that up until this episode we would eventually get a reveal, and I was pretty sure it would be Twilight related, But it seems like that's just not the case, which is a little bit surprising, but I think the idea is that what happened to him is really not the point. The point was how they responded to it, which is the whole idea, a big theme of the show at all, the main idea of the show is that, life, things happen. You can't really take responsibility for the things that happen. You can only take responsibility for the things you do about it, your response to it. And that is the biggest thing. That's what matters most. And that's what you need to focus on, not things you can't change. Because even though people in their respective parallel universes, they usually have the same events happen to them, but they end up very different because of how they respond to it. And that, I do think, is the biggest point of the whole show, really. I don't know if I can do the best job of really articulating it, but that is the biggest part of the whole show. And the benefit of having parallel universes is that you can see alternate paths, what would have happened if you had done this, and that can kind of help you guide yourself a little bit by seeing those wrong examples, for example. Or in this case, somebody that did go down the wrong path is helped guided kind of back by someone that took a better path, So that's pretty much where we're at with that. We'll never really know what happened to Kyuu. He disappeared one day. And that's really just all there is to it, seemingly, unless I missed something. In the end, Asuka did get through all that and got back home, back to her world. And we had a nice little chat, in the lunchroom, and discussions of going to the same college as you, which, Asuka's grades I don't think are the best, so she'll have to work hard if she wants to make that happen, but I really enjoyed that entire dialogue. It was really cute. It was pretty mutual. Yu was more than happy to do so. She said things like, well, I guess I would help with, expenses or whatever, even though, yeah, she wants to live together with her for more reasons than just that, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that was some nice stuff there. Getting to see a little bit more of some of their interactions, post emotional confession scene type stuff. Get to see some of the after of that was quite nice. And we have a new member, a new member. I guess she was somebody who was associated with Studio Asuka in her world, except it's, of course, this world's version, so she doesn't actually know us. So that was interesting to see, because we're like, hey, you want to join us? And she just scoffed at us, it was just horrible. She talked about how she heard rumors that we're just this crazy club that's not serious at all. Remind me of some KO and stuff. But, we're like, no, we're the best club ever. You should totally join us. And eventually we used our secret weapon, which was our connection with Ani Max or whatever she was called. And yeah, once we said that, she did a 180 from that condescending scoffing to, please let me join. I love you. I'll be best friends with you forever. Please, I beg of you. That was quite a shift there. And I mean, we accepted her, of course. We're more than happy to have more members, even if we didn't start off with quite on the right foot there. And we got to see, and in the little musical montage we had later, her helping us get inside the broadcasting room was a great little scene, because she distracts the actual member, because I think she said before she had some kind of connection to her, because she was going to join the regular broadcasting club or whatever. So she just distracted her to get out of there. Probably said something about, hey, there's a emergency over here, you should probably check out. It was probably something like that. And then as she does that, we just swoop on in there and do our thing, whatever our thing is. It involves singing and dancing, most likely. So just, yeah, fun little way to end off the episode. Well, it wasn't exactly the end, but it was end-ish. The usual just kind of shenanigans they do before we started to do the fragment stuff, except we're all in a better place now, because we've all went through our respective character development and learned a lot along the way, got to face ourselves and understand ourselves better, probably make better choices in the future. It's great. And then our final scene was just some heavily implying that Asuka came back somehow, but apparently didn't want to actually meet with us, which is sad, because I would have loved to have seen Asuka one last time, because I love Asuka. She's one of my favorite characters. I would have loved to have seen her one more time. I'm genuinely sad that I didn't get to do that, but she did leave behind the cassette player, so I guess that's something. So I do think that's everything I really got to say on the episode. I think it was a really good way to end it off. I mean, there's a couple of little unsatisfying things, like the Asuka thing I just mentioned, but overall, I think it was handled very well.
Thank you for watching.
Sorry, I did not mean to. That was a mispress. I meant to press the pause button while I think about some thoughts of the overall show, which I'll do correctly now. So anyway, my overall thoughts on this show. Thought it was a great show, for sure. Very good cast of characters here. Everyone got their own character developments, and it was very much integrated into the overall mechanics of the universe, which is the fragments, the parallel worlds, which is such a good opportunity, device for development for reasons I've already talked about. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but yeah, you get to just see things from a different perspective and just open up a lot to the possibilities with figuring out what's truly important to you. And the fragments themselves, there was some pretty good creativity there. The best one, the most clear example would be the Wild West, but steampunkish, it had technology you wouldn't usually associate with the Wild West. So that was one of the most interesting worlds that they made, for sure, which is really cool. Yeah, that was great. It was great. Definitely the most notable world. But yeah, it's just a fun way to prompt the character development. Like I said, I don't know how much there really is to say about it, about the show as a whole that I didn't already kind of talk about in the previous segments, because I talked about a lot of the overarching themes and stuff in that part. But yeah, just Asuka was always a lot of fun of a character, and then they expanded on her by just letting us know how much is going on below the surface, and yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot for sure. Asuka was a fun character, and then we had our banana character, Nana, and she was kind of she was kind of like a Gyaru character, just kind of acting out for attention sort of character. So, we get some interesting lines from her and behavior from her as a result. And I mean, Chloe didn't get too much attention because I mean, Chloe and Mia to an extent were both kind of background-ish characters, among the main characters. Not front and center the same way characters like Asuka and Yu were. And Asuka was a lot of fun, and Yu. The best thing about Yu was just kind of the insight that Sexy Yu gave us into her character, because Yu, she kept being called a honor student or whatever by other characters, I think mostly Nana, and she never seemed to really identify as that. It was just kind of a label that kept being thrown at her. So, and I mean, she didn't seem unlike that to me, really. So, and to contrast to that, we had Sexy Yu, which was very different than normal Yu, very much just being very honest with herself, honest with her feelings, very honest with her feelings. She likes Asuka. Was not a secret. Was not even anywhere approaching a secret. Very bold about that. Even I think had some skirt flipping up, if I remember correctly. So yeah, pretty clear about that. And because deep down the different versions of people are really the same when you get past a lot of the surface stuff, we knew we could extrapolate that she feels the same way about Asuka. But at that point, it's a matter of why is she not talking about it? Why is she not as open about it as this Yu? And that Yu kind of helped her become more open about it. So that was just a great little journey to see as well, because I could see some little hints that she liked Asuka in various bits. And when you finally got to see that really come out, was just extremely satisfying to me, at least, and it just helps Asuka be more honest as well, because they both had kind of lack of honesty kind of problem, which both had their alter ego kind of help with, because because it kind of contrasts Yu pretty well, because Asuka was always kind of a silly character. Yu was pretty serious, and then to contrast that, we had the opposites of them both respectively, where we had serious Asuka, much more serious than our normal Asuka, and Sexy Yu a lot more sillier than regular Yu. So that was really interesting dynamic to have set up for sure. Having your polar opposite of Yu, but still kind of Yu helping you kind of get maybe more of a center point. I don't know if I phrased that very well, but hopefully you kind of get what I was trying to say there. So they both just played a very important role, for sure. And I did talk a lot about how I thought Kyuu was like on the enemy side, you know, maybe just not like that because she's a bad person or anything like that, just maybe she just has a different perspective on things and maybe she would come around to our way of thinking. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen with Kyuu's character, but I don't think it ever really did, again, unless I'm missing something, you know? Because, yeah, there's a lot of my assumptions were just kind of wrong, which really shouldn't surprise anyone. But just, you know, I guess anything that I saw that was evidence of that was just jumping to wrong conclusions, you know, which happens for sure. Not just me, like I've seen other reactors, you know, in other situations do jump to false conclusions as well, like ones that are actually smarter than me, so I'm not gonna get hung up on that too much. But yeah, Kyuu as a character was just great. She was so much fun, you know. Like obviously, I quite enjoy my Yuri shenanigans, and she was a good source of that. You know, the kind of flirting with Asuka she did, and straight up pinning her down at one point, I believe. You know, the whole beach episode was a fun episode for sure. I should rewatch that episode. That was some good stuff in that episode, for sure. For sure. But you know, Sexy Asuka just kind of had this aura of being, you know, a little bit like mysterious, kind of. Yeah, like it just seemed like there was a bit of a mystery over that we were eventually going to get a reveal for, but we just kind of didn't. So I don't know. I'm really sure what to make of that, honestly. But I definitely appreciate her presence as a character. That much is for sure. I think that's everything I really got to say on the show. It was a very interesting show. Good cast of characters, just interesting premise, you know, parallel worlds and alternate versions of themselves that play an important role in their respective developments. And, you know, having a couple of them be very important in the case of Asuka and Kyuu. And just also just being pretty good at, you know, being really hard to predict what was going to happen next. Like, when I first started watching this show, I would not have in a million years guessed that the source of Twilight was just a mini Asuka that handled the Kyo thing just worse than she did. I just wouldn't have imagined that. It wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, I enjoy my time with it. You know, it's a shame that it's coming to an end because I really got attached to some of these characters, for sure. I mean, it really does feel like, with the exception of Asuka, you know, like Asuka and you, like the rest of the group just seem to be kind of overshadowed by those two, really, which is a bit of a shame. Like aside from their focus episodes, characters like, you know, Mia and Chloe, and to a lesser extent Banana, it just kind of, you know, just felt less important, really. I don't know, just because they didn't have their alter ego as a part of the show, because it kind of felt like, you know, Asuka and you had like double the importance because they had double the characterness in the show. If that phrasing makes even any sense at all, you know, like it just made them definitely feel like less important characters, for sure. But, you know, I mean, Asuka was in a league of her own, I suppose, because she had not only the Siri Asuka, you know, the same way you had Kyuu, she also had Mini Asuka, who was kind of the final boss. So, yeah, Asuka definitely overshadowed everyone, I guess, in that regard. So I guess it's just kind of a tier list. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. I've pretty much said everything I got to say. I enjoyed my time with the show. I'm going to miss it. Hope you enjoyed the show, too. Hope you enjoyed my reaction to it. Even though they're not as entertaining as most reactors I know, I just have a, you know, more chill, relaxed reaction style, which I know is not for everyone, but it's what I do. And if you enjoyed that, and in spite of that, I'm happy about that. And just I hope you watch more if that's the case. And I'm gonna click the end button for real this time now. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.